right, and here is a quick little look at the reformatted R05 FORTIS from Mastermind Creations. This is technically the fifth member, or I guess not the fifth, the second to last member, R05. It's R02 through R06 is Feral Rex. R07 if you count the bonus Fellows Saber extra figure. But this is FORTIS. He is the headstrong analog in the Feral Rex combiner. This is the final release version. Here I've got, remember I reviewed the test shot a few months ago after TFCon, and I'm not going to go in depth on this one because we've already seen the transformation. I've already shown you most of what's with this guy. I'm going to focus on the differences here from the test shot to the final version. So one, the packaging, you got the nice window box packaging that opens up. Magnets over here to magnetically hold the box closed. Artwork over here. I really dig the reformatted packaging. Nicely done. Inside there's the standard, what has become the standard little tray here with the items inside. Weapons, knives, guns, foot and fist, figure itself. Now one of the things that's nice this time around is, if you remember, some people had problems with their Bovis rubbing paint on the window. And even though none of the paint is actually, like, on FORTIS, none of his paint is actually in this section to rub the window, they've actually added this little cellophane, sticky cellophane layer here to hold him back and provide a barrier between the back of the box, or the front of the box, and FORTIS's chest. So he should come out with no paint rub on him, which is nice. Let me get him out of here. I forgot I twist tied him in there. So yeah, pull him out, and here is FORTIS. Like I said, I'm not going to transform him. Transformation's exactly the same here as before. I'm just going to focus on the differences between the retail version, the final version, and the test shot version. Okay, I got to flip his little foot panels out here. There we go. Get the combiner foot and the guns. Now the only real main difference on the combiner foot itself, and it's not even really with the combiner foot, it's with the fist itself, is that now the connector port is black. It's a separate color. On the previous the test shots, this little black hinge piece here was the same piece as the fist. Other than that, aside from some more defined paint apps there on the silver, they're essentially the same piece. I don't think there's been any physical changes to the mold itself here. So we'll set that off to the side. Regarding weapons, here are the test shot weapons versus the final version. And again, the silver is a little bit more pronounced. You can see it's a duller gray over here versus a brighter silver accent on the weapon. I did realize at some point that you can actually extend those for his arm cannons. Then you rotate these pieces around when you want to combine them, and these can plug on to his arm, just like the previous ones. And then again, the weapons themselves, the test shot ones were painted entirely with the gold metallic paint. The retail ones have the blades are painted, but the handles are not. Just so you can really see it here on camera here. This area right here isn't painted, and that's just to keep it from rubbing and coming off as you put it in the character's hands or combine the swords or anything like that. And I actually kind of like it. It distinguishes the blade from the rest of the weapon. It doesn't look like one solid piece. I like that. It's got a separate shiny blade there on the final version. Now on to the robots themselves. I'll go ahead and pop these guns off here. One, the yellow has been a little bit more saturated, a little darker. You can probably see there. This is the final version over here on the left. And so you can see the colors of the red's a little bit more saturated, just slightly darker than the pre-production version. These are now solid black plastic over here. They were yellow plastic painted black. Same with the feet, solid black plastic. So it's got a little bit more of a matte textured feel to it versus the shiny black over here because it's not paint on the final version. This is how I like to do the waist pieces. A lot of people asked about these, and I like just kind of folding them up there in vents. It kind of widens the waist, makes them look a little stockier and bulkier. You'll notice that the triangle down here on the crotch part is silver now on the final versus red. And other than that, there's not a whole lot of changed paint apps. The black's still here. The silver on the side panels is still here. We did also paint the they also painted the triangle here on the forearm. But other than that, the same gold eyes. Now the head is molded red plastic again on the test shot. This is all hand painted, so it looks slightly different. But it's still got the shiny red visor, the painted face, and then the solid red plastic up here. And you'll notice he's got a different. His face is different. He's got the kind of disappointed. The test shot has the disappointed looking face that ended up on the final version of Bovis, or something very similar to that ended up on Bovis. Whereas the final version here, he's still disappointed, but it's less. It's more of a frown. It's not quite as scowly as the previous one. And of course, Bovis had the really angry face on the test shot, and it toned down a little bit on the. And it was again more like this on the final version for Bovis. Now, I figured out where the arm issue is coming from. It's actually on the back. Let me pop this piece off here, because you can slide. If you slide the upper arm piece off, come on, there we go. His legs really peg on there. Fold this up. Just kind of slide it off right here. Come on. I'll see if I can get it off here. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So this piece, there's a little nub right here on the upper arm. Let's see if we can see it. Right there. That this slides onto. You can see there's the slot. You're familiar with that type of joint. It just slides on and off here. And this piece right here on the arm has a little square. It's hard to tell. Let me see if I can get my where's my screwdriver real quick. I had a little screw. Oh, here. I'll use the twist tie. Right here on, you can kind of see it there. Right here on this hinge, there's a little molded tab. And it's supposed to be there. It's basically a piece that on the left arm prevents the arm from swinging too far back. Like you can rotate it at that joint freely forward, and it's designed to stop it from rotating back too far. So you can, it just keeps the arm straight. That's all it's there for. But this piece is the exact same on this side. Just this upper arm piece. If you push this pin out, just this upper arm piece with the ratchets, just this little T-shaped piece. It's the same on both sides. So that's where the problem comes in. It wasn't as pronounced on the test shots, so it didn't do any damage. Basically, this upper piece is just the same piece flipped around on the other side. So that brings that little tab around to the front, which is what the gears are getting caught on and mushing up. Some lube will fix it. If you take like a pair of snips, or even just an X-Acto knife, and just scrape that little tab out of that gear, that one little ratchet, you won't have the issue. That's what's causing the problem here. So, alternatively, if you don't mind this being facing the other way, it means this slot would be facing out on the arm like this. But instead of this, it would look like that on the other side. There we go. It would look kind of like that on the other side. The arm would be facing out, but again, this arm cover, you don't really see it anyway, so you'd never really see it. You can just push, if you got an awl or something, just push that pin out, and it's really easy to do because unlike a lot of the mass release retail figures, these don't have the little burls on the end of the pins; they're just in there really tight. So you could push that out, and then you could just take that piece on this arm and swap and just turn it around, pin it back in. And again, that would end up moving this tab to the back, and you wouldn't have the gear mush issue. And you can snap again. It would sit like this piece would sit like this, so this would be on the outward side. But the way it spins and the way it attaches, unless you're looking for it, you'd never notice that it was facing the inside versus the outside. Even the outside has a gap there, so it's just a matter of this little piece right here. So there's a couple different ways to fix it. And apparently, you can also just lube it up. Apparently, just lubing it will work it. But if you clean out that little, if you either remove that little tab or flip that piece, it fixes the issue. I pointed it out and mentioned it to the guys at Mastermind, and they're talking to the factory about it. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but it is a very simple fix if it's a huge issue for you. I'm going to snap that right back on, just like that. But yeah, And that's pretty much all the big major changes between the two of them. They're essentially the same figure we've already reviewed. You do get the comic and the bio card. Get them out in a little bag here. Comic instructions, some neat little comic telling you the next part of the story, and then the instructions obviously on the other side on how to transform him. Little bio card with brighter numbers, so you can see them much more clearly than you could on Bovis. Apparently that was an issue. You also get a replacement for, some people said that their butt plate had cracked on Bovis. This screw down here had gotten a little over tightened, and it was cracking this. And here's a replacement piece. So if you do have that issue on your Bovis, there's a replacement piece in it. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. There's not, like I said, I'm not going to go in depth on the figure because it's, aside from some of the physical changes and the final colors, we're looking at the same toy here. So yeah, he's out. He's hitting. Some people who ordered from Planet Steel Express have already gotten theirs, and they should be on the way. Other retailers should be getting them in soon, so you should be getting them any day now. So keep an eye out. But there it is, the final version, ready to roll, of FORTIS, part of Mastermind Creations Feral Rex.